I've seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way.
My boyfriend Daniel and I are right in the very front row, in the middle, in front of John Davison, during the best night of our lives, basically. During the intermission, we meet this extremely pleasant man named Will Alexander, Jeff Downs' sound guy, who, after the show, lets us come backstage because he liked us so much. Talk about lucky, man. Backstage, first we met John Davison, the replacement for John Anderson, and what a great replacement he is. We talked with him for a very long time because he's so friendly. He's so friendly and so sweet. And I really hope to meet him again, and I'm so happy to have met him. I really wish that we could become friends or something like that. The first album that he ever got was Tales from Topographic Oceans. I told him I can't wait for him to sing that because it's just so angelic at the very beginning, you know, the revealing signs of God and all that. It's really beautiful, and I can't wait for him to sing it. Afterwards, we met Jeff Downs, who's the keyboardist, and he's the replacement for Rick Wakeman. I didn't talk with him much because I prefer Rick to Jeff. After that, we meet Alan White, the drummer. He catches me making this really stupid smile, and he says to me, "What's wrong?" And I say to him, "Oh, nothing, I've just never met a rock star before." And he says, "Well, you shouldn't be hanging around rock stars. You're too pretty." And, well, I'm just standing there not believing it, just, you know, hallucinating. And then after that, I tell John that I'm terrified of meeting Steve Howe because the man is extremely antisocial, which is already quite bad when you know that you're going to meet a god. He tells me that I just have to be really gentle and that I can't shake his hand because he doesn't like that. When Steve comes out, John comes up to me and he says, "Hey, would you like me to introduce you to Steve?" "Yeah, sure." So he takes me by the shoulder and he says, "Steve, I would like you to meet some friends. This is Audrey and Daniel." We talked with Steve for a little while. Basically how it would be if you were talking to a god. Basically to everything that we said, he just replied, "Oh, thank you." And finally, when I asked him to sign my shirt, he goes on full sentences about pens. "Oh, bloody Sharpie, we've only got bloody Sharpies here, you need a stuff, I wrote." Imagine that, meeting Steve Howe and all he talks about is pens. Then we talk a little bit more with John, of course, because the man is so friendly. And I say to him, "I'm just so happy right now. Can I give you a hug?" "Sure." And finally, Chris Squire comes out with his wife and his little daughter, who is 4 years old, and I shake Chris's hand, and my hand is diminutive, and his hand is the size of Texas. So my hand disappears in his gigantic hand, and I say to him, "Your hands are enormous!" All the better to play nice with. He signs my ticket first, I think, and he signs it like that, to Audrey, Chris Spire, and a little S. And then I say to him, "Oh, a kiss, how sweet." And he smiles at me, and then he looks at Daniel's ticket and he says, "He doesn't get one." To which we laughed, and Daniel said, "That's sad." After it was time to go, we go out on the stage, and Will Alexander, the sound guy, the most wonderful sound guy ever, who got us on stage, and what a godsend, what an angel he is, lets Daniel play some of the keyboards. Oh man, I can't believe how lucky we were. So he also signs our t-shirts, and I say to him, "I'll never forget you, Will," and he says, "I won't forget you either, Audrey." Hopefully I'll meet him again, because he's such a sweet guy, him and John. After all that, I couldn't sleep that night, and I couldn't sleep for a whole weekend. Really, it was just the best night of